Hi, good. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Sorry for the delay.
It's cool. It's okay. I was actually just signing off of work, so it's cool.
Oh, cool, cool.
Um, okay. So I have a couple icebreaker questions for you first.
Sure.
If you were an animal, what would you be and why?
Man, I used to have a set. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be a cheetah, man. I want to be fast. But I guess nowadays, man, that's a good question. I've been kind of feeling like a koala lately, I guess. Sleep a lot, eating food even though it's poisonous for you.
Yeah. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Uh, what is it? It's Creedence Clearwater Revival. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah, gosh, what's the name of this song? Creedence Clearwater Revival. Fortunate Son.
Yeah. Okay. Not what you'd expect from you, but yeah. Surprising fact today. What was your favorite band when you were growing up?
Um, I listened to hip hop a lot until I was like 11 years old. I listened to all the mainstream stuff when I was a kid, but it definitely was System of a Down. They were like I was raised in a pirating music era, so
Yeah.
like they were like the first albums that I actually bought. I just loved them so much. I would listen to their whole discography and play RuneScape.
Yeah. Okay. What can you share about the creative process behind creating phobias?
Phobias is kind of like a successor to Night Terrors.
Hmm.
So it's kind of more revisiting that concept and just acting as if I never really had solved the issues and kind of let them bottle up instead. So it's kind of like a cause, like
Yeah.
Night Terrors is the cause and Phobias is the effect.
Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. Do you have a favorite track off of the album?
Probably Imposter. At this point, we're pretty much, the all the singles that we want that are out now. I've saved some really good ones for the album release, which is just a few weeks away now. So
Yeah.
only a matter about 4 weeks, and yeah, Imposter is probably my favorite.
Okay. How would you say that Phobias compares to your previous releases?
It's definitely more of an up-tempo album. A lot of the stuff that we played when I was younger were it was really slow and sludgy stuff. So definitely picked up the tempo big time with this one.
Yeah. Okay. What artists have been inspiring you the most lately?
Honestly, I don't feel like I've been like listening to music as much as I used to. But if there's a metal go-to right now, it'd probably be Gojira. But I listen just to a lot of nostalgia stuff, old hip hop, like um uh Tribe Called Quest and Scarface and just all sorts of like old school hip hop, Wu-Tang, the Grave
Yeah,
Diggers, stuff like that.
the greats.
Yeah.
What other South Florida bands should people keep an eye out for?
I've always really liked Gas FL. They're pretty awesome. Cool dudes. I've known a lot of them. Well, I've known the vocalist for quite a long time, probably about 15 years, and um, I've always liked I've always liked Scumfuck, which was Dickie Allen's band. Pieced Up is pretty cool. There's a couple cool ones out there. It's really niche, the music that comes out of Florida, honestly. Some of like the heavier stuff.
Yeah. So I noticed you have a Chef Shelty section on your Instagram.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite meal to cook, like a signature dish?
Lately I've been like loving to cook with red wine. So I've been making French onion soup. I've made a couple of like a bordelaise sauce, like a steak sauce with
Yeah.
red wine. My go-to if I'm feeding a bunch of people, I make Alfredo from scratch is probably my favorite.
Oh, wow.
But I really all started on the grill. I was grilling at my when I was living with my mom and dad a lot, and I kind of just fell in love with cooking like after that, and I've kind of always cooked for myself. When I was 7 years old, I remember making myself eggs in the morning if my parents were working, or if I was
Oh,
getting babysat, I'm like, I'll just cook my own food.
yeah.
So I cooking was my original career path. Uh, I wanted to be a chef, but I didn't know what type of chef. Because it
Mhm.
like for the type of excuse me, for the type of food that I make and like the type of pace I like to work at, it'd probably be um something more along the lines, not necessarily a food truck, but I guess more of a I've always wanted to do a takeout spot that has like six chairs, three tables to eat at. Those are always the best food when you walk in and there's, just barely enough places to sit and eat. But
Mhm.
probably that because a lot of the love goes into the food rather than the, service of getting the food to the table.
Yeah. So what else might surprise people to learn about you?
Well, I don't know. I'm a pretty transparent guy when it comes to being on the internet. I feel like I'm pretty open about everything that I love. I love to camp. That's not really surprising.
Mhm.
Um, I haven't. I don't know. That's a good question. I guess. I mean, something. Maybe. I guess more something that people would know about me is I have a pretty immense fear of open water. Uh, but I still try.
Mhm.
But if we're in the middle of the ocean and you need me to jump off the boat, I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
No way. I actually have a spear gun too, like an underwater fishing spear gun, and that is the only way I've felt safe being on like in more open water is if I have a gun. So
Yeah. That is a fun fact. Do you have a motto or good advice that you live by?
I think my first motto that I lived by was old Ben Franklin. Old Ben Franklin. If you give up freedom for security, then you deserve neither. And
Mhm.
because I feel like I always took the gamble and just lived free and did what I wanted to do and lived the dream that I wanted to, starting traders at such a young age because I was only 22 when
Yeah.
the band started and I'm well 21 and now I'm 32.
Yeah. And then my last question for you, is there anything else that you'd like to share with your fans that maybe we didn't talk about?
Honestly, like I said, I'm such an open book. I feel like I've shared everything with my fans. I keep them so up to date as much as I can with all the things that are going on.
Yeah.
Um, my true fans, I feel like will always, follow me on my trader's journey. And
Mm,
I said it on the last interview as well. As long as I can do metal vocals, I'll always make music for traders. May not necessarily, tour in a stinky van in my 40s, but I'll always, the trader's voice will always be there, I feel.
mhm,
But I do have other projects that I am also working on that are non-metal related right now. So you guys can keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. And I think it's music for everybody that they'll really love.
mhm. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
All right. Bye.